Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party. You know what we do. America, the center, common sense. And the 4th of July. Ha ha. There you go. So, we're going to give out, I guess what I should call the very first Purple Award, because I really love this story. DeSantis thanks. Praises Biden, for being on top of the Surfside tragedy since day one. See, that's purple right there. That's, who cares about politics at a time like that? Possibly 100 people or more could lose their lives in this horrific just collapse of a building. That way. And here's another one that people think is dumb, there's really something unfair about this, says the female athlete. Women's rights, bigot, says the big hulking man. We talked about this last week. Testosterone is a vital part of an athlete's physiology, if I'm using those words right. And it isn't fair. It just isn't. And it's trampling on women's rights. And a lot of it is being done by men who don't care. They don't care. I will illustrate that point right now. So here in California somewhere, I believe, there was a spa. And a black woman, I guess, and an Asian woman walked into the women's changing room and they saw a biological male naked. The black woman raised a ruckus. The Asian woman wanted her money back. Understandable, shocking. It's not what you expect. You're there for a relaxing day at the spa. But a gentleman says that they're both being bigots. They're not being inclusive. That's really easy for the man to say. Because the man is not the one whose safety is being threatened by these changing rules that are meant to placate a smaller number than the majority. Much smaller number. And now, this is the part where the liberals would jump in and say that I'm being transphobic. It has nothing to do with trans people. It has nothing to do with transgender women, transgender males. It doesn't. Man, humans, but especially men, filthy little worms. Men plant cameras in women's toilets. Now you're giving them an avenue. You're giving them an avenue. We saw today, there was a video of a man who just tackled a girl and put his hands down her pants and grabbed her ass and then ran away. That's all that happened. Men will use this loophole. $400 billion was conned out of governments on EDD and COVID relief payments and things like that. $400 billion. You see, it's really easy to say that you're discriminating against transgender people. That's an easy way out of the argument. But that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about scummy men who will use every advantage. And I'm not saying the guy at the spa. Don't get me wrong, I'm not. Because I'm all for that. But for the example of bathrooms, a lot of places that I go to have single-use bathrooms that are designated as unisex. All gender, or some say family. So we try to fix the problem. But at some point, we have to draw a line and just say that certain things need to be certain ways. We try our hardest to placate everybody, but when we start placating a small group at the expense of a larger group, I don't know that that's progress. I don't think it is. And in the case of women's athletics, it's not progress. You're striking down the girls' and the women's ability to get scholarships, build a career. Venus Williams recently said that if she played against something like the top 1,500 men, she would lose. So even the lowest ranked male could beat Venus Williams, according to her. And even if they lower their testosterone, by the time they've hit puberty, it's over. They have bigger lungs. They have bigger everything. It's not fair. I understand what we're trying to do, and I support what we're trying to do. But in reality, we're sacrificing too much. And I think that's the bottom line. Men don't give a shit about what happens with the women. They don't worry about how the effect could lead to women being taken advantage of. Right now, believe it or not, spy cam video out of the bathrooms is huge. You put a spy cam in a bathroom, you can make a lot of money. So it's something like $120 a second. It's mad money. So we're inviting this cheating to happen. That's the problem. We're inviting men to make the transition into a woman to become the top athlete. We're not seeing a lot of that right now, but you know how it all works. It works in the future. Things snowball. That's the way it works. It snowballs. And we have to, we have to change it. And we have to be able to discuss it with open minds. So, there was police funding in a giant bill. And the Republicans voted against it. It was a giant bill that had all kinds of what they call pork. Okay? If funding the police was so important, why didn't the Democrats just put it up as its own separate bill? Why do they always have to stick so many riders on? Why do both sides do that? Why do they allow riders to destroy a good bill? I don't get it. And Psaki comes out. That babbling parrot. She comes out and says, oh yeah, they oppose the American right. Bullshit. Okay, bullshit. Let's be honest here. All right? Cities directly defunded their police, and those cities were Democratic-really led. The mayor, the police chief, everybody. All a bunch of fucking hippies. What's this one out? Right here, planning a cookout, catch up on the news. According to the Farm Bureau, the cost of the 4th of July barbecue is down from last year. It's a fact that must be heard. Hot dog, the Biden economic plan is working, and that's something we can all relish. Oh, geez. It's cringy puns. And it's talking about hot dogs and pork and beans that are on sale at some stores, basically, 16 cents. I mean, not true. I mean, this is the kind of response that you see. This is from people that blue check marks, even apparently representatives, even. I mean, everything's more expensive. So 16 cents on some fucking hot dogs and pork and beans. We haven't had gas prices like this in 7 years. I mean, it's a shit show. The average price for a gallon of gasoline is $3.15. Around here, we've already topped $4. So here in California, and my favorite is people say, well, people are driving more now. And they always raise the price when people are driving now. But here's the thing. Yeah, they raise it like a quarter. They don't raise it like nearly $2. They don't just skyrocket the price. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If only I could put ketchup in my gas tank. Yeah, there you go. Another person whose name is Save 16 Cents on my 4th. Chinese propaganda, it really is. There's oh man, I'm going to blow her name again, but, Lauren right there. If only I could put ketchup in my gas tank. Yeah. 16 cents, this guy says. The math on that is the median home price goes up 16 cents every 1.3 seconds right now. Yeah. So you shove your 16 cents, now do gas prices. Oh, man. And how embarrassing is it that they thought 16 cents would make them look better? But it'll cost you $20 more to fill your gas tank to go shopping, and you might get robbed. Yeah. Good work, guys. I mean, they're just a shit show. The White House is filled with a bunch of fucking knuckleheads. A bunch of career politicians who are getting old and don't give a fuck how it all turns out. Trust me on that. They don't give a fuck how this thing's going to turn out. They don't care, dude. They ain't going to be here. Most of them are thinking to themselves, 4 more years, I ain't going to give a shit. They're not going to care. 8 more years, forget about it. Biden administration is such an abysmal failure that the White House is now posting this. Let that sink in for a bit. Exactly. Thank you, Sticks, Hex, and Hammer 666. Oh, man. That's exactly it. 16 cents. Okay. The league clarifies the entire league isn't gay, just the Dallas Cowboys. Oh man, that's yeah. I kind of miss that kind of humor. Bo Burnham's another guy. He has a Netflix special, Inside, and it's refreshing to hear people start to take a little bit of chances with their humor now. You know, we've been so PC for so long, dude. Time for change, dude. Time for change. Biden says Latinx ain't getting vaccinated because of giant sombreros, making it impossible to enter pharmacies. Of course, he didn't say that's B again. But yeah, just these are just reminders, that Joe Biden is the racist. That's all they wanted to say about Trump. So I'm going to remind you who the real racist is. Now, you could say there's fucked up things about America, and a lot of them are true. But those people aren't acting like Americans. They're acting like selfish, narcissistic individuals. America's a group effort. If you ain't part of the group, then you're not part of the group. It's that simple. You want to lock police officers in police stations? Try to set it on fire? Good. You're not really an American. I want to flip back to this. The 4th of July is coming up, man. I'm saying, it's a group thing. And, I'm here. I have a list of photos in front of me, just photos. And I got to go off. I got to say something. That's what I do. It's off the cuff, man. It's from here. So, this one touches me. That the whole joke is that this guy went out and got an F-15 because he'll take on the government. That might not sound like a good thing to you guys. Those people who say that January 6th was the darkest day in American history. No, it wasn't. That wasn't shit, really. But they were standing up for America. They were not standing up for an individual or a group of individuals or a hate of other individuals. Okay? That's not what happened. That was, by very definition, a mostly peaceful protest. Yes, a lady was shot, and other people had medical issues. Not denying that. That's bad. Sucks. But they were Americans, acting in what they believed was America's best interest. They weren't kicking in windows and looting and stealing shit and trying to kill people. Okay? That was not the overwhelming vibe that was going on there that day. But they're going to sell that lie because tyrants like to rewrite history. So just remember, our history is overthrowing tyrants. We're 1-0 in that. Actually, I think we're 2-0. Because they came back in 1812. And we fought a civil war. And we didn't fight a civil war to overturn our government. We fought a civil war because some states were getting a little out of hand. They weren't complying with what we now know was an abhorrent, cruel thing called slavery. But we fought that war. And then we spent the rest of our time helping out the world. Essentially bailing them out, supplying them, and then sending our troops over there. And all those men and all those women who died for our flag in many conflicts and in many theaters. The women who went to work and built the planes and then had to fly the planes over there. The kids at home that were doing recycling drives. That's what went on in World War II. Girls rode during the American Revolution, took the message that the redcoats were coming, rallied the troops. We even had a black president of Congress way back when. Technically our first president. He's the first president of the Congress that would preside over what was becoming the United States. It's a convoluted argument and everybody can get all whoop-de-whooped about it. But my point is, they came together as Americans. And that's what we need to do. On both sides, we need to come together And we need to kick these politicians in the ass and said, we need shit fixed. And I don't want you trying to divert our attention with this other bullshit. And we need to tell the media, if you are not going to tell us the truth, then shut the fuck up. All right? Happy 4th of July. Copious out. 4th, baby. Boom, 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 boom.